Let's do it, gentlemen. And I think we're about to ready to rock and roll. It says we're live. So welcome to Wise Beyond Bitcoin. Welcome to your Monday live stream where you come to wise up on crypto and learn about blockchain technology, the ethical, equitable side of this new tech, as well as the opportunities that are out there for you to be a part of this growing technology. My name is Lucas.
And my name is Ryan.
I'm Jacob.
And we actually have a lot of great information. As always, a week filled of developments, not just in traditional finance news, markets, and because it obviously, Ryan, we were talking about this earlier today, but for quite some time, we can see that these markets are going to be heavily correlated. Would you say that?
Oh yes, with the mainstream financial markets and the crypto space, yeah, there's definitely links. Growing links every few weeks or months, right? They become more intertwined.
And really, just if traditional financial markets are indicative of the health of the economy or the wealth of a nation or a group, in any area, then of course if one is rising, it allows for both to rise, and if one is plummeting, then they
go together. Yeah,
they kind of go together for quite some time. There will be some decoupling, variables or decoupling instances, right? But overall, it's more of these transitioning from.
Yeah, they're more correlated than not, right?
Absolutely. But we like to start with our market recap. Obviously, our website is still under construction, but a host of informative links. Let's start with a little market roundup and what's going on. So I think today is, they say, there's that saying, if there's blood in the streets, buy even if it's your own. Have you heard that one before?
Yep. Yep.
The crypto market seems to be doing a correction, and it looks really bad. Of course, Bitcoin looking. I don't say look bad. That's just in traditional financial terms with the movement down. I mean, it's down going quite a bit, 2% in the last day, but $45,000 Bitcoin. I mean, from where it was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Now, interesting, and we'll talk about this later, smart contract platforms and the rise of some other ecosystems. But Ethereum seems to really be struggling and having a hard time moving up and taking a larger hit. Heck,
gas fees have been high lately. I think that's been dampening some enthusiasm.
Looking at all this red, it's kind of hard to see what stands out at the moment. Let me just go right to Cosmos for sure. Synthetics, you were just talking about that. We talked about Mina protocol a long time ago, and if you're part of the Mina ecosystem and you remember that video,
congrats.
Feel free to send us a wallet and
right.
Let us know how that works. We'll get one, and you can send us a thank you. I think if you're in the U.S. in certain areas, you're still not able to have easy access to Mina protocol at the moment. But I could be wrong. Maybe it was on Binance for quite some time. Maybe it's on Binance US. Cosmos was doing extremely well. So is Tezos. They're still in a sea of red, showing positive growth in the last day. But there's a lot I want to talk about Cosmos later, and that's exciting. What's going on with that ecosystem? Tezos, I have heard really good things, and I spoke to a developer on a social media platform, Clubhouse, a little while back, and he explained a lot of what's being developed on there. So I wish I had more involvement, but I don't quite yet have an actual hands-on understanding of Tezos. But overall, do you remember before how, generally speaking, when Ethereum or Bitcoin was going down, everything was going down?
I do.
And a lot of these downturns or consolidations or sideways movements, what have you, have they been earmarked with pumps in Polkadot, pumps in Kusama, pumps in
Phantom, Cosmos,
Solana? So
all the layer ones.
A lot of the layer ones, yeah, a lot of the smart contract DeFi platforms, and
So it's not just to sell everything shakeout. It's like some of these bigger projects are selling off, but it's maturing, and people are recognizing that there's other projects that are rising that have benefits or have characteristics that aren't shared by, say, Bitcoin or Ethereum, and they're doing good. So it's not just FUD that's pushing everything down. It's a mature, look at what is going on, and people aren't just looking to get out and to sell into stable coins. They're looking to diversify into these new smart contract protocols that solve a lot of the problems with Ethereum.
You check out the live chat from one of our people, our good peeps out there, Beto. He asked about the sync bonds. Hopefully I get to that soon enough if you're still out there. I'm wondering if the sync bonds are synthetics. Are you guys familiar with sync bonds?
I'm familiar with the Sync network and their bond system with NFTs.
Sync network. Oh, that's what he's talking about. You are familiar with that.
Yeah.
How does that? Talk to me about that.
So essentially, from my understanding, you provide liquidity and they turn your liquidity into a timed lock bond using NFTs. So they'll turn your liquidity position into an NFT, which is a representation of your liquidity position, and you can't claim it and turn it back into your LP tokens until the time lock is done.
Okay.
So, pretty interesting. It's all done through smart contracts as like an escrow service. So basically you just lock your LP tokens in the smart contract. It spits out an NFT for you.
That's very cool. And I wonder if you can you take that NFT and collateralize it?
Yeah, you absolutely can, and you can do that with Wise Token.
Oh, we've talked about this.
Yeah, we actually have.
Actually, Jacob, you brought this to our attention, did you not?
Yep.
No, I remember it now because I remember that. This is cool. So, what do you think about sync bonds? I think that we're seeing a lot. In fact, we've got an article to talk about later on, but we're seeing a lot of unique uses for NFTs. The popularity of NFTs are growing, and rewarding people with NFTs. It's also adding liquidity. If you look at these sync bonds, it's taking liquidity provided. If you provide liquidity for periods of time and you lock it up 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. 180 days. Actually, I say 2 years, 3 years. It probably didn't even last that long, but a year may be the longest. But you can lock it up for periods of time, and depending upon the amount and all these different aspects. Here you show a picture of Ethereum and the Sync token with the Tesla right there in the middle.
It's that Tesla.
Yeah, and then if you see the next one, each one here, this one has Ethereum and whatever. I don't even know what that one is. What Paint. ETH. Okay, there you go. Paint ETH or whatever.
Paint ETH.
But yeah, so I think that using NFTs to reward people, you see that Solana, Luna. We're going to talk about other protocols that are offering some really great airdrops, really great incentives for supporting their networks, and that's really what it's going to be about. One of the things that you can do to take advantage, one of the secrets. Even when the market's consolidating, and even when there's a downturn, how you can really, one of the benefits to crypto is just being involved and taking the time to read a white paper, diversify, learn about a project, use a swap, try a protocol, and stake a little bit of liquidity. And it'd be a lot of these protocols, the gas fees are so small, you can stake $30, $40. Your $20 or $30 staked could end up giving you $500 in airdrop tokens just for using the platform, or $1,000 easy. And I'm saying this because I've seen it. This
happens.
And it's really just the beginning. So I think this is cool. none of this, of course, is financial advice from any of us. All of it's educational information. We're at the beginning of a revolution in new technology, and we're all learning this together. And these ecosystems are just so young. We got some good articles to get to because there's a lot of support.
The update is it's not as pretty as we'd like to do normally. It's a little bit of a red down day, right?
It looks like it, but look, even on a red down day,
there's things happening.
Synthetics is popping. CeeLo, which I don't know enough about. Cosmos, which we'll talk about later, but I'm very, very bullish, and there's so much support, and it has a beautiful community. I mean, the Cosmos ecosystem is really ready to rip and rock.
I like how fast and cheap the transactions are on Cosmos. It's amazing.
And the thing is it's one of those projects that's been around, like Polkadot and others. It's been building for a long time with a lot of support. I mean, it definitely has a good solid history, and where you see this whole IBC network of different blockchains being able to interact with each other without bogging down, slowing down, or compromising the security of each one is huge. So things like Cosmos, and we'll see other projects, but these projects could foresee a lot of the limitations and issues with transactions per second, and the slowing down, the gas fees. So it's great. It's beautiful. Of course, you'll see stable coins are doing really well right now, as there's a flight to.
We have a Litecoin story to touch on too. That had a big pump and dump in the last few days.
And that caused a lot of a dump, would you say, in the market too? Maybe?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
That. So are you guys satisfied overall? I do know that we got some of these projects to get to later. Solano, Polkadot. It's a shame because just 30 minutes ago, an hour ago, some of these were still green and they were sticking out like a sore thumb. And unfortunately, now they're finally doing their sell-off too. But there you can see Cosmos is pumping right now, and we'll talk about that. Tezos, Monero's doing something. I don't know much about Quant. Elron is just almost there, right? And so, definitely want to go through some of these projects, because this is where diversification and these protocols can absolutely benefit. If anything, the different ecosystems are developing at different rates, and so by being a part of different communities, you can learn and you can have access to different benefits.
I think you're absolutely right, and something I want to touch on too is just using the technologies from one chain to utilize on another as well. So like a great example was like how you said earlier, using the sync network with Wise token to allow you to collateralize that NFT. It allows you to merge two different technologies in a way that just wasn't possible before.
Do they have that?
It's not out yet because Wise token doesn't have liquid NFT smart contract out
yet.
It's coming. They're working.
Right.
Yeah.
They're working.
Yeah. We might want to come to that at the end of the video just to spend a time to it, because we've got some articles to power through, but we could talk about a lot of the benefits of that ecosystem and in fact, we do have some stuff to talk about later on with a recent development.
Well, this is the big story of the day. For the most part.
Yeah, it is.
The news came out that Litecoin was going to be integrated into Walmart e-commerce side, and people were going to be able to use their Litecoin to pay for their goods from Walmart, and massive pumps of 30-something% on the day, and then 28% over an hour period.
Wow.
Which is wild. And and then the news came out that this was fake and that's not actually happening. And so that kind of was a big move, something that kind of moved the markets today. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's the whole story or not, or if we have whale manipulation going on as well, and they just decided to use this as a catalyst, or
I see that.
there's a lot of
this
angles.
news alone wouldn't drive all this huge sell-off we're seeing in the market. We've been around these markets a long time. What you often see is some little article like this come out simultaneously with some major, like you mentioned, major whale action happening in the backdrop. So
yeah, because really, I mean, why would this affect ETH and Bitcoin in the whole space? I could see it being confined to Litecoin, and then having some spillover effects for anybody who was, any institutions that were really long on Litecoin.
That being said, while this may be fake news, I do know that Litecoin's been working with Mimblewimble or something to promote private transactions on the Lightning Network and for point of sale transactions on certain stuff. I think that seeing Litecoin and other projects make agreements with large companies for crypto transactions is not something that is far away. So
that's because that's kind of what it was built for, right? To be like a very cheap payments sort of processing system.
Right.
That was the idea. So yeah, I mean, this would be this kind of a deal with a retailer like Walmart would make perfect sense for Litecoin.
While this may be fake news, it could be foreshadowing things to come.
Well, hopefully it puts a feather in the cap of the Walmart team. Yeah, and they gives them an idea,
or their competition, whatever. So, all right, well, that's a good one. By the way, thank you, Beto, for good looking out, because he was talking about the dividends that you get paid back for the NFT in sync. And
yeah, it says 300% at the end of the year, right?
Yeah, you get 25% of your bond every 90 days, plus all 300% at the end of your bond. So, and of course, it's paid out in sync, the tokens, which a lot of these projects are paid out in their tokens. When you hear about 300%, 200%, it's not you're getting 200% Ethereum or Cosmos. You're not getting that. You're getting the token of the platform at which you're providing liquidity. The token of that platform is what
the utility token.
That utility token. Now, depending upon that platform, you may find that its tokenomics are solid. That it's going to have staking and locking it up, liquidity over periods of time. And if it's a solid platform, then of course, like anything else, the sooner you get involved and provide value and become a part of the ecosystem, then the longer you'll be able to enjoy the growth. That's how I look at it. There's gonna be
so there's risks because it's a risky thing because you could get some utility tokens paid out and then have those rise as time goes on, and you end up making far more than you ever imagined. But then also you could have that could be it could tank. And like with Titan, I was being paid out in Iron and Titan,
right?
With Iron Finance, and the Titan token was doing great, and then all of a sudden it crashed. So it does make sense to kind of to weigh your risks on these things and do your research to see if the project that you're involved in, the token you're being paid out in, seems to be viable for the future, long run, what the tokenomics look like and all that, because it's easy to have it go the other way.
Yes, it is. And look at the protocol you're getting involved. Look at behind the protocol you're getting involved in. What it is that they're offering, for sure. But the way I look at it, and I guess part of our title, how do you take advantage and profit during these downturns and these crypto crashes? Well, it's getting involved in diversifying and participating and just hodling and waiting it through. These are opportunities, and I guess that leads right into this next article that you pulled up, Ryan. But here's an example of someone else who sees this as an opportunity and really doesn't care what's happening in the short run.
Yeah, Michael Saylor and his company MicroStrategy. They've been huge in kind of paving the way for investment, for institutional investment, right? Getting out front and putting large amounts of money to work. And here's just another example of this. They purchased over 5,000 Bitcoins, and that's a $242 million purchase during the third quarter of this year. So yeah, that's the smart money, I guess you could say, because they do what they do, offer, they have, they raise cash, they raise capital from, from very wealthy clients who are involved in finance and institutional finance, and they raise this number. They do a note offering, I believe, right? They sell a note, and so it's an investment. It's a way of investing in Bitcoin without directly holding it yourself. And yeah, they're able to raise large amounts of money to go into these Bitcoin purchases, and they've been very savvy at picking the right moments. I believe they will kind of wait for moments of max pain in the markets, and then they make their big purchase, kind of like the Warren Buffett approach.
Yeah, and think about this. I'm going back to the market cap because it just made me think of something. Who benefits and who gets hurt when you see these quick downturns of a few percent, whether it's a few, like 3%, 5%, 10%? I'll tell you, if you're a MicroStrategy or a Tesla, you benefit regardless, because if it goes down, guess what? You have a write-off of losses in that quarter.
Right. That's true.
So a sell-off can be very timely and can be very beneficial to show a write-off. You don't really take the hit on that big, large commercial level. So these downturns, they don't hurt someone who comes in and buys it at, when they're looking at the long-term game. It doesn't hurt them at all. It could be great. It could be a great strategic entry point.
It's the small investors who think, oh, it's tanking, I better cash out now.
Well, and I'll tell you this else.
Get hurt.
Be careful what projects you get involved in, how you get involved, because if you're getting involved in DeFi protocols where you are borrowing against collateral, and then this is where liquidations take place. And so when people are expecting the market to just go up, up, up and away, and they take out a position where they're collateral and they
can have a margin call and they have their whole position liquidated.
And that's what I was going to say. The people that are getting hurt the most in these downturns, it's like a shakeout, You see that the people that are getting hurt the most are those people who are leveraged in leverage trading, margin trading on these different platforms, and not just those who are highly leveraged, but even those who are just engaged in a regular old-fashioned collateralized loan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's for sure.
Because if it's backed in a digital asset and the value of that digital asset goes down, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, liquidate your position. So this is definitely not something that hurts larger holders in crypto. This is like those whale moves you see or you hear about. And we'll see how far down, how low can you go, and what's going on here. However, we'll get back. I know we've got more articles to get to and some really cool projects to show for those who stick around. Thank you very much. Hit the like, subscribe, and all that good stuff, because we are excited to really go into detail with a lot of these projects, and talk about how you can really earn basically free money just for being involved in cryptocurrency. If you're involved in crypto right now in stocks and traditional finance, and even the crypto market itself may be taking a dip, you actually can look at your wallet, open it up, and see more tokens in it than you had the day before from a platform you never even heard of. They're just saying thank you for being a part of the network. So yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
Pretty cool.
Okay, so let's touch on that El Salvador article.
It's up and away.
I just thought this was pretty fun to hear. So Western Union, and this is CNBC did a calculation, did some research. They estimate that companies like Western Union and MoneyGram will stand to lose around $400 million a year in commissions and fees for remittances. This is when people work in foreign countries and send their money back to their family and friends in their home country. And then companies like Western Union, they'll broker those transactions and do the exchange, and they'll take a fee for it. And the ability to use Bitcoin for cross-border payments is going to essentially take about $400 million out of that industry's revenue, which means that puts $400 million back into the people's pockets. So this is definitely a great story about the wealth creation possibilities, and also the more harmonious distribution of resources that comes about through blockchain and digital currencies, and how it makes things more efficient. This is just an efficiency story here, but one you love to see because that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I found that quote. Remittances are one area where the status quo in our legacy financial system is terrible, with extraordinarily high fees leveled at populations that can ill afford them. Yeah, you said it. You said it, brother. This is a great article, and I like how it really points to both sides. It points to the amount of value and money that is saved by the people who could really use the savings the most. But this is also a story of creative destruction, right? Because now Western Union is going to take the company, the stock, to the shareholders, to the employees, is taking a $400 million a year hit. This is one of the many industries that is going to begin to be crying for local governments to pass regulations and pass things. And
yes, kind of like the taxi companies and the Uber versus Uber, right?
And that's why education is so important, right? Because if you're a constituent, it benefits you to have Western Union be displaced by a cryptocurrency. We all benefit from this new technology being able to flourish. And I think that's why it's important. We'll get to some, I think in the next couple of articles, the SEC and what's been going on there.
Oh, yes. Touch on that too.
The idea is that right now there's an arms race. There's a Cold War arms race in blockchain technology, and it's the digital oil of the future. And really, those populations that have the more access and the easier time to bridge and transition from traditional markets into this new ecosystem are going to benefit more
for sure
than those who don't. So it's imperative those who are the most pro and liberal and open-minded to growth in technology, I think, will benefit the most. And so so El Salvador, that's and I like that El Salvador continues to be in the news, but this is a good news, El Salvador.
Oh yes, there's some the next article has some good news too. So in Ukraine, they just passed a law where Bitcoin is now being legally recognized and tolerated inside the Ukraine. So prior to this, it was illegal and definitely frowned upon to do any kind of business in crypto and Bitcoin. So businesses that allowed Bitcoin transactions or inside they'd be subject to raids and all kinds of things prior to this bill. So this is definitely legalizing and opening the door to Bitcoin businesses and investment inside the Ukraine. And if you read on, it says that this is even potentially a step towards the country in the future being able to adopt a Bitcoin standard similar to El Salvador's. So that's definitely in the cards. But this would be a necessary first step just to have it recognized as legal. Yeah. So anyway, another very bullish article about nations becoming more friendly with crypto and Bitcoin.
And that yeah, I mean those populations. I was looking also here in the article that it's going to give citizens permission to own and trade Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies on exchanges. So those that allow more access, easier access for people to jump into blockchain technology, because exchanges are really, we're talking about just opportunities for people to leave Bitcoin or Ethereum, these main, and go into other blockchain, digital assets, whatever you want to call them. But these are, as you know, these are the other lanes on the highway. There's not just one road in any country or city. There are many, many roads. There's loops. There's highways that cut through the middle of a city. There's streets inside of the city. There are so many, and you find blockchain is these smart contract platforms, they're interoperable. They're to take a load off networks that can only handle so many transactions per second. These emerging ecosystems, the more people that can get involved, and the sooner, the more they can benefit from these projects. I mean, I'm really excited. Ukraine, El Salvador, from different parts of the world, you're seeing it just starting to light up. And
these are
beautiful.
Any one of these stories on their own, a year or two ago, would have been enough to move markets massively up. It would have hit like a cannonball or something. Right?
And now the news can come out during a consolidation.
And it's like
another
fantastic story.
El Salvador,
yeah.
Good news, money saving. Ukraine passes a bill, and still the mark. And you know what? To me, that's bullish news.
Yeah, it shows you that the hype is real. We're not if in a hype situation, all hype, any kind of great story like that would lead to even further crazy gains.
Right.
But these ideas aren't really that crazy, and it's like they're being priced in. That's kind of the way to say it. It's already priced in to some degree.
And kind of like the Great Depression. I mean, post-pandemic COVID, markets being shut down, even slowly being opened up and limited around the world. We got supply chains are completely wrecked. There's a ripple effect that hasn't even really, that'll be the talk. Well, that's going to be the talk over the next few months. But a lot of these factories and supply chains that people are used to having stocking their stores have long since been shut down and haven't been producing at the rates at which people are. So we're definitely going to see the effects of the markets going.
Oh, for sure.
Going up and down, and they're, I forgot where I was going with this, and they're tied together. But let me go.
Supply chain squeeze.
Yeah, I don't know where I was going. I feel like it had something to do with the overall health of the markets in general. But I'm going to have to leave that one alone, gentlemen, and see if it comes back to me.
Well, we can continue on. Visa. There's a great story with Visa and the CEO making an awesome comment.
Yep. More good news.
Yeah. So what did he say? So the claim is that the CEO, his name's Alfred Kelly, and he explained that over the next 5 years, he would not be surprised if crypto would take off. That's the word. I don't know here's the exact quote. I don't know how far the cryptocurrencies are going to take off. Let's say in 5 years it was a fad, no big deal, or will it be extremely popular? I'm not smart enough to know. But what I am smart enough to do is make sure our company is in the middle of it today. Well, that sounds like he's taking a position, right? And he's not, obviously nobody knows the future, and we can't say for sure that it's going to be around and massive and it's going to replace the dominant financial system. But it definitely doesn't seem to be a fluke. And if you have a CEO of a company like Visa is positive that they want to be involved in the middle of it, just in case it does end up being the next big deal, I would say it'd be worth taking heed and saying, okay, that's worth replicating. If it's good enough for Visa, it's good enough for me, right?
Right.
And obviously, if they want to be positioned, then they don't feel it's just a fad in 5 years. When you look at the many of these projects are over 5 years old, well over 5 years old.
Oh,
so,
for sure.
These people are well aware that they are just now starting to get legs and mature and really bear fruit and begin to operate. I mean, that's what's exciting. You talk about Terra Luna, NFTs. They're celebrating NFTs on that network. Cardano, Solana. There's so much to talk about, but these ecosystems are all operating. They're
Here's some more detail on what he's talking about. Visa's working towards enabling the purchase and conversion of cryptocurrencies. They're going to enable their customers to seamlessly convert cryptocurrencies into fiat and not just use it to move cash. So and be as payments, but to be like an exchange of sorts.
That's beautiful, kind of like Crypto.com, the Crow network, different, that allow you to point of sale transaction exchange, whether it goes through some, because I think didn't Visa already do something with USDC, made a deal. So here you go. Guess what? They've got the USDC. You've got the crypto. We'll exchange it for you for a slight fee. And guess
Yes,
what?
that's the key.
Guess what? Visa's now still making a fee, and they're still helping you liquidate your crypto. Everyone's...
Now, here's a great story. I don't know if you've heard about this, Jacob. I know you're into NFTs, so this one might have come across your screen, but if not, then here we are. There's going to be a movie starring Anthony Hopkins I think it's called Zero Contact. Yeah, Zero Contact. And it's going to be released exclusively through NFTs.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And there's looks like if you go to their website, Vuel.io, I think Lucas has it.
I do.
There's a way to purchase either it's like I'm not sure. Okay, so yeah, so the Vuel site, it's a premier space for film memorabilia.
Yep.
And you can view films. You can it's a distribution platform, so there's various things. But one of the things on here is there's a bundle. I don't know if you purchase this outright or if you're like in a raffle for it, or we'd have to look in the details. But it essentially gives you the ability to be in the movie. There's like a walk-on role that you can get, and various other things that are involved in this package, which made me think about the Super Troopers GoFundMe thing they were doing a year or two ago. Do you remember that? When that sequel was being made, and there was like this crowdfunding thing, and you could either get, for a certain amount of money, you could get like a credit on this, and then for more amount of money, you could be in the movie itself. And so it was like one of the first times I'd seen this, and it's the same, so it's a similar idea, but it's now using crypto and NFTs.
That's cool. That's cool. And there are different packages: Platinum Edition, Elite Edition, and you can check out the drop is going to be on OpenSea, so this is on Ethereum. Bundle of Zero Contact feature film NFTs and more. Zero Contact original cut, Universe set visit, Zero Contact Universe walk on roll. There you go. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yep.
Crypto art, NFT by. Okay, so this is and it's coming soon. 12 days, 1 hour, 17 minutes, and counting. You saw it here. Get in early. Check it out. I mean, that the fun thing is just checking out. Some of them may be expensive. We'll see, but it's just getting involved in projects is rewarding. That's what the biggest takeaway that I've learned in crypto is the best thing one can do is to experiment. And this is not financial advice, educational information. If you want to educate yourself and be part of different protocols, then diversifying yourself into these different platforms and experimenting, getting involved in what they have to offer is rewarding itself by becoming involved in the protocols, not just buying it like a stock, from some centralized exchange, but actually using it. That is one.
And why is because a lot of times you qualify for airdrops. If you're early, you're using the protocol.
Osmosis, Cosmos. Avalanche, using the Avalanche bridge. There's the GB token. It's like $1,700 before this drop to $1,500. Just incredible amounts of money, tokens, free money that are just given to you for being a part of the project, staking a little bit from your own wallet, providing liquidity on this exchange, using a bridge. Write that down. Use a bridge. If it's a network you like and you're bullish on it, find a bridge and use it. Do they have a major decentralized exchange?
Try that out.
Swap on it, try it out, and provide a little bit of liquidity and support the network if you're a part of it. If you want to see these networks grow in value, then help them grow in value. Lock that liquidity, provide a service to your brothers and sisters that are exchanging on those networks.
Well said.
All right, and earn a fee in the process.
From the NFT film story, we can go and shift gears to something not so sweet and happy.
But actually,
but not horrible either.
Not horrible, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
So you want to take? I guess I can steer this one. Yeah. The U.S. Treasury is talking about. They're in talks right now to regulate stablecoins, and that sounds kind of scary. and it is, right? But there's some silver lining in the clouds here. They're actually talking with consumer advocates, members of Congress, and market participants, people in the cryptocurrency community. And one of the things they're looking for is they're inquiring whether people in the community feel stablecoins require direct oversight, and they talking about, well, what should the regulators do to mitigate risks if too many people decide to withdraw their stablecoins all at once, or how should stablecoins be collateralized? That's the other thing they're talking about. Mm-hmm. So there actually looks like a fact-finding kind of deal here, where instead of creating a bunch of rules and throwing them down and just being ham-fisted about it, they seem to be doing some research and trying to talk to the community and get some feedback. And I feel like that's a good deal. That's the way they should. I feel like that's the way the regulators should approach something like this, something brand new that they don't fully understand, that we're all still grappling with and trying to wrap our minds around to see exactly how it works, what it is, and all the rest.
Yeah, I like what you said about the officials asking the crypto community whether stablecoins would require direct oversight if this type of... So, like you said, look, whether or not you work in politics or you work for a company or you work, in your local community, at the end of the day, we're all just men and women that have different stocks of knowledge. Wherever you are, if there's a problem with your electricity, there's a problem with your plumbing, there's a problem with something that you don't understand, your engine in your car, you find someone who knows how to... There's a problem with your books, you find someone who knows how to balance your... you find someone who knows the language, knows the skills, and can... Well, obviously, DEXs, liquidity, all of these nuance, this is all brand new. This is a new technology, being a new community, new jargon. So it makes sense for the men and women who are in charge of protecting their brothers and sisters in relative positions of power to ask, hey, is this going to help? Is this going to benefit? How does this work? What's the best approach to be of service to you, since that's what we do? We provide a service to protect you. Help us help you. What should we do? So that's beautiful. That's good news. That's good news, gorillas, right there on that article. And let's see what else.
This next one's good news too. Arbitrum has had a big.
I have a surprise article. Surprise article before we do that, brother.
Okay.
We've got bad news following that.
Okay. Oh, the Coinbase article. Yes.
That's right. Yes. I got one. And Jacob, jump in here, brother, because you found this one. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. So essentially, this all kind of goes back. I found out about this because I follow the Coinbase's CEO on Twitter, and I actually happened to see that the CEO had made a tweet thread about how they tried to reach out to the Security Exchange Commission multiple times. Before they actually were developing this product, they wanted to develop it, and they tried to reach out to them to get some clarifications. And they basically, the SEC said, hey, we're not going to work with you. And even though they're a publicly licensed traded company here in the United States, they said no. And it's interesting that their immediate response to, okay, well, if Coinbase doesn't get any clarifications, we're just going to launch our product. Their response is immediate legal action, which I personally don't agree with it. I do have a viewpoint on that, how the last article was talking about U.S. regulators wanting to regulate stablecoins. Stablecoins could technically be considered a security, and if that's the case, and they're ruled as a security, their entire lending platform, it's functional based off of stablecoins. So
yes, I was reading that in the article that they were trying to offer 4% APY on USDC.
Yeah, and so because of that I suspect is the reason why the SEC is going after Coinbase so hard. But
oh, there it is. Okay.
It's still pretty interesting to think, and one of the takes that I seen was that with the Security Exchange Commission giving no clarifications whatsoever and just immediate legal action. There are some people out there who are saying that this is legally enforced racketeering, which I think is another interesting point.
Well,
I could see that because isn't it kind of incumbent upon them to be transparent about what the rules are, and if not, then that's not being that's not acting in good faith, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking about this. What's funny about this is what many people don't recognize is that Coinbase offers exposure to digital assets like Aave or other things that allow you to lock up, directly earn borrowing, lending, interest, which is perfectly collateralized, transparent. It's part of the blockchain revolution. It's all open source. Everyone can see it. That's how these things work. So it's interesting that the SEC or people working there are going to say that they are not allowed to directly allow their customers.
Could be because they see Coinbase as an easier target.
Yeah, they're an
easier. It's got a CEO. It issues stock. It's a publicly traded company. Whereas, going after a contract on Ethereum is
much harder,
much more difficult. Yeah.
Well, also what this means is that's the benefit of getting involved in DeFi yourself and being involved in these having your own wallet, your own keys, and partaking in these protocols directly is completely different than sitting back and buying and holding something and through a centralized exchange and watching the price of something go up and down,
Right. Yeah, that it shows that the value of Coinbase might be a little overinflated. The more these kind of issues become a problem with being able to use their product, it's like, well, what do we even need you for? Really.
So that's a good article to be aware of what's going on in the world of the SEC and Coinbase. Okay, now let's get to some good finds that you found, brother. This is that Arbitrum article and what's going on with Ethereum and the users flocking.
Yes. So we have two articles really. This one's the first one that focuses on Arbitrum, but there's a second article that's going to talk more broadly about what's going on. But essentially, what's happening is these layer twos are blowing up in popularity. Arbitrum has gained 9,400% total value locked in the last 2 weeks. That's just hard to believe. It's really shot up, and it's now right behind Polygon Matic, and right ahead of Avalanche. Huge. And it's kind of came out of the woodwork. Give you some stats. 2 weeks ago, on September 1st, the total value locked on Arbitrum was only 22 million, and it's now scaled up to 2.12 billion in just 2 weeks. That's that 9,400% figure. I mean, that's just over the top, and the whole space is seeing growth, whether it's Harmony One or Optimism or Solana, Phantom, Polygon, Avalanche. I mean, these are the stories of the last few weeks. Last month, right? Is these layer twos,
smart contract protocols, or layer twos,
Yep.
Both.
So yeah, that's very exciting. I know I'm excited about it because I'm not a fan of these crazy high Ethereum prices. I paid $45 just today on Uniswap to sell off some Cartesi, and it was just insane. You would have thought I was interacting with a smart contract.
Right.
Well, yeah. I think something that's interesting to speak about this too is I see a lot of people racing to speculate on the different layer twos that are going to be built out on Ethereum. And my personal take is as we start to see more and more mass adoption, we're going to start to see more and more chains getting overloaded with the network effect and just overloaded. So you're going to need more and more blockchains. So
right.
Me personally, I believe instead of
picking one
on these, instead of picking one, just Ethereum is going to be where all the value ends up anyway.
Right. So you just mean pick them all?
Yeah, pick them all.
Yeah.
Pick as many, do your research and
sure.
But pick as many as you can. We're all limited. I mean, there are some I wish I still, would like to be a part of, and I'm not at the moment, but I will soon enough. But
Well, here, let's go to that sister article. This one is about the space more broadly, and we see the big headline is that Ethereum bridges have topped $7 billion in total value locked, which has risen in the last 30 days 50%, more than 50% in the last 30 days. So, I mean, it's another, right along with the last article, another indicator that a lot of value is leaving Ethereum mainnet, and it's going to layer twos and bridges. It's going to these other protocols. And that's, if you're thinking about staking or providing liquidity, I would not be looking at Ethereum mainnet. I would be looking at one of these competitors.
Oh yeah.
yeah, at the moment, and Ethereum talks about being to late 2022, being a little bit of ways away before staking is actually rolled out, because there's so much that needs to be done to make sure the network is secure. That this is giving an opportunity for these other protocols to show their stuff and do what they do.
Yep.
And they're doing it, and they're rocking and rolling. So, in fact, one of those projects, which I have not yet had the time, we will shortly, to actually play around with, is Algorand. And the Algorand Foundation is one of the many different crypto platforms that are launching $300 million fund to support DeFi innovation. And there are many other protocols that are launching 180 million, hundreds of millions of dollars in supporting growth on their network. And this is just the beginning. All of that money being spent is trickling and rolling down and to all those people who are part of those platforms and helping it grow.
It's a beautiful thing.
What did you find about the Algorand Fund in particular?
There's one project on there that we should probably bring to attention to our audience, called Tiny Man. If you scroll down, you'll see a link to it. But it's a DEX. It's going to be I believe they're having an NFT component with it. There you go, Tiny Man. It's going to be the first automated market maker DEX on Algorand, and it's in the testnet phase. So I think it's it'll go official and launch, I believe, in the not too distant future. And this is an example of one of those opportunities where you can come and interact with the protocol and potentially set yourself up for airdrops in the future.
Well, let's click on the app and let's check out what Tiny Man is up to with Algorand. So check it out. You can get your Algorand web wallet and you can load up a pool. You can swap. And this is cool. This is very, very cool. I don't have an Algorand web wallet to take advantage of this yet. However,
We'll have one soon.
This is what you're talking about. Be a part of these projects. I have been an Algorand supporter for quite some time. So to see this roll out is exciting. I'm excited to see this. This is very cool. Go check it out. Yep. Something else, Solana is one of the projects that's just been rocking and rolling over the last year, and they've been rolling out a lot of stuff. And you got an article on...
Yes. So Soul Razor, they're raising $1.5 million to build a developer ecosystem for Solana. And they're going to have a launch pad, an accelerator, developer tools. I guess you can call this like an incubator for development, more or less. And it just shows you that the development on Solana is continuing.
And this is early. Actually the Soul Razor website. And you can participate in these Soul Razor as well. It's cross-chain pools built on Solana Wormhole. Cross-chain pools allow communities from other chains to invest directly into Solana projects. So cool. That's pretty neat. Soul Razor, and let's see.
They have some good partners. I remember looking at it.
Yeah. Morningstar, Moonrock Capital. I don't know all these names. I don't know most of them, and that doesn't mean anything. Actually, it doesn't mean anything at all. Cream, know about them.
Heard of that, yeah.
Okay. Well, either way, this is cool. cool. Solana is just a solid project. It's a solid protocol, and there's a lot of awesome development happening on Solana. So Soulraiser looks pretty well vetted, built on the Solana ecosystem. There you go. And that's another project that one could become involved in. And they got a Discord, Telegram. Discord, I have found a lot of these projects, if you have issues, they're very easy to communicate, and the communities, there's just very open communities out there to ask whatever questions and walk you through. Or if you have a lot to offer and and you want to kind of figure out what you can do to add value, there's a whole group of people there that are working on projects together, and you can actually be a part of this blockchain revolution with your computer chops. If you got to
dip into the Osmosis Cosmos ecosystem a little bit.
I think so. And real quick, so Amaris.com, app.amaris.com. This is just a demo account on their website, and you can connect your Kepler. I do recommend a Kepler wallet, KEPLR. It's like the MetaMask of the Cosmos ecosystem. It allows you to get involved with the Secret Network, Cosmos, Akash, Osmosis. Actually, all of these can be accessed. And they're talking about, you want to talk about some bullish news? Bringing the Luna Terra ecosystem to the Kepler wallet.
Ooh,
somehow
like
tied
that.
to Tender. So that's awesome. That shows the value of this Cosmos Tendermint ecosystem, the IBC, inter blockchain.
Computer?
Is that what it is? Computer IBC?
I think
IBC?
so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I like the way that sounds. But this is it. So if you have a Kepler wallet and you've got yourself some Atom, some Cosmos, you can come and swap it in between these different blockchain assets: Akash, Persistence, Regen, Sentinel, which is their DVPN, decentralized virtual private network, Crow token, which is the actual token for the Crow.com Visa payment system for people who have a portfolio. It's a great protocol. So this is it right here. You can provide liquidity. It's early on, and you can also swap and have from Cosmos. You can actually swap out of Cosmos into another blockchain right here and jump into these different ecosystems. Osmo is one of them, and I have to say, we're going to jump to that real quick. It's part of the whole Cosmos. If you're looking at why is Cosmos pumping when the market's tanking or consolidating, this is part of the reason why. It's this IBC, this inter blockchain computer, and where people can swap in and out at just fractions of a penny, just very, very cheap, sometimes absolutely free.
I actually provided liquidity to the pool, and I did a zero gas fee.
A zero gas fee.
Yeah,
That's
zero.
it. Yes.
Yeah, because you told me, you were like, hey, you don't even need to pay anything. You put it on zero. I was like, really? Okay, I tried it. I was like, even with the pool, it worked.
Yep.
It's pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool, actually.
So
I got something to do.
So dang near's absolutely zero gas fees, and Osmosis. You can stake, and the staking rewards for Osmosis right now are over 180%. I mean, you're getting a great return staking. Now, when you stake it, it's like Polkadot or like some of these other networks. It's very common in smart contracts to promote security, and that when you stake it for 14 days when you stake it directly to lock it up. So if you want to unstake it, you have to wait a couple weeks. Hey, when you're earning high rates of return, the whole point for me, I'm not a trader. I look at supporting networks and staying in for quite some time. I find that to be the most rewarding. So 14 days becomes 28, 14 days. Let's do it some more. You can always, that's where people really start compounding their gains, their interest. And that's the best way to be involved and not to sit back. But when you're involved and you're active, and you're compounding your interest and you're restaking, for a zero fee, you're able to scrape your daily interest, and you're able to add that to what you're earning interest on for the next day. I mean, it's
That's pretty cool.
Very cool.
And to even go even further on what you said, I mean, being active in any community, NFTs, DeFi, this entire space, just be active, please.
Yeah, there's rewards.
Yep.
There's
I know
rewards out there.
I've missed out on a lot from not being active enough. Like I bought some Avalanche and left it on my wallet, but I didn't bridge it.
Yeah.
And so I missed out on that airdrop, but I'm learning.
All right, let's see here.
I feel you. It's like just really quickly before I touch on this article, because it is about NFTs. I actually went to an NFT event for the Ethereals, and just for traveling over 200 miles, I got a free NFT.
Oh
Just,
man,
just
that
for
sounds
going, just
awesome.
for showing up. Yeah,
Jacob,
just
next
for
time
showing
send
up.
us an email. Tell us where this place is at, brother. Go drop us. I'll drive a couple hundred miles to grab myself an NFT.
It was a one-time event that happened last Friday, so it was.
It's all right.
It's already over with.
It's all right. I understand. Next time,
Next time,
brother.
So let's check out this link.
I'm happy
This
for
looks
you.
awesome.
Jacob is our NFT pioneer. He is
Our
discussing
NFT
awesome.
specialist.
In fact, Jacob pulled out this article. If you need to have this, and we will add this to our site. If it isn't already, we'll add this to our site. No, it's not. It's on the list. Rarity.tools. You want to check out what's your NFT worth? What is an NFT worth? How rare is it? What are the details? What's it a part of? Rarity.tools is your NFT decipher protocol, basically. Is that about right?
Yeah. So there's a lot of different types of NFTs in this space, and I like to put them in broad categories of, like, you have the one-of-ones for those particular artists who you're buying the artist and their art rather than a collectible.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the collectible series, like on Rarity Tools. This is where you will find all your collectibles. You could actually find the new up-and-coming NFTs before they drop, just by clicking the up-and-coming tab right there at the top.
Okay.
And you'll actually get a drop-down list of all the NFTs, when they're dropping, what they are, like a quick link to their socials. It feels so reminiscent to just CoinMarketCap, Nomics, that it just, if you've been in the crypto space, it feels like home.
And having a heads up on what's coming, and what is huge, because these things become so hot so fast.
Yeah,
it feels like
that's like a perfect example. Like those Omnimorphs, I actually happened to join their Twitter on just because someone who was a friend of mine shared it, and that happened nearly 2-3 weeks ago, like before they ever got listed on Rarity Tools. And that's part of why I tell people to be active in this space. Follow people in the Twitter spaces, follow people in the Telegram spaces, follow people in the Clubhouse spaces, because that's where you're going to find these projects at their earliest.
Mm-hmm.
Just being active in these spaces. And it's crazy because I happen to I use Rarity Tools a lot just to check the rarity of my items.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually go to all collections, it'll show you all the collections that are on the list, and you can search one up. If you want to do me a favor and go ahead and search up 0N1, and it should be the Omniforce.
Yeah, I've heard you speak of these before, I believe.
Yeah, so they're actually a project that I was able to get in on the pre-sale. If you want to look up the rarity of one of my favorite ones that I have, it's number 1513. So all you have to do is just type in the number where it says ID.
Look up.
There, it shows me my rank compared to the entire series. It gives me a score. And I could look at others who are around my rank and what they're pricing theirs at, so I can price competitively. If I see someone's pricing it around, let's say 510 ETH, I could price it around that same price. And so it's one of those interesting things where this tool helps you really gauge the value of your NFTs in a way that just isn't possible on your own.
Wow, what a
Yeah, I
beautiful
can see that.
value you've got there. It looks like somewhere in between that 2 to 3, if not 3 to 4 ETH average on all the different attributes alone.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is one that I'm probably not letting go of for anything less than 20 ETH.
Wow.
That's just my opinion
Nice.
because I like it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And yeah, it's good to be able to hold on to these for a while anyway. Yeah, this is cool. Very cool. Good find. Rarity.tools. You need to check it out, especially if you're in the NFT game or you want to be in the NFT game. This is just a valuable tool.
Yes.
Gentlemen, I think we covered a pretty good week's worth of blockchain information. The moral of the story is diversify and get involved in these different ecosystems. Cosmos, there's a whole bunch through Kepler Wallet. Now I know MetaMask can handle not just Ethereum, it can handle Avalanche, it can handle Binance Smart Chain,
Matic.
and Matic as well. So and probably others soon. There are some web wallets to get involved. We will do some specific videos, so make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we look forward to kind of taking a web wallet and walking you through a DEX or an NFT platform or a website, and just kind of showing the nuances. Because once you start working with one, you get a feel for it. It's good. It's fun practice, to get involved in this Web 3.0 ecosystem. Really, it just becomes it's really exciting, and there's some fun, beautiful people all over the world that are there to communicate with and that are part of this. You got a family waiting for you.
oh yeah. One thing that I'd like to touch up on before we go, just real quick, Wise news, because we love Wise here. But Wise Token actually just announced that they're going to be launching their staking platform on Polygon, so we can now stake on Polygon pretty soon here, and that's going to save us a ton in gas fees when we want to unstake our tokens, when our stakes are all our time stakes are up. It's going to be amazing for that use case. And they also plan on making an entire new market where you can sell stakes that haven't been finished staking yet. You can sell the ownership of your stake for less than what it's worth. So if you needed the liquidity, honestly, and you didn't want to lose 90% of your principal, well, now you can maybe make 70, 60, 80% of your principal liquidating, and somebody else who might not mind waiting the amount of time can buy that from you.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
I like that, because that's exactly what happens. People need money and they don't, and they get in a crunch moment, and it's an opportunity to sell their position without liquidating. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think it's another reason why I just love Wise. I think of one thing that Wise can do to improve, and they do 6 more things.
Adding liquidity to stakes, and through the Polygon Matic network, where actually being able to transact is cheap and feasible. So that's huge. Stakes is collateral. Fixed compromise wallets, you can move it around. It's adding fungibility. It's adding.
I'm glad, because that ETH gas fee is nothing to laugh at if you're making a small stake.
And if you want to know the details, why staking on Polygon, how it will work, the founder Peter Gurr is right there with the recent video. I've already liked it, to show you how it works. Like Jacob said, there's really so much going on with the founder, the team, the ecosystem with Wise, that it is my continued 2021 to 2022 sleeper crypto pick. And it's one of those things where, that hundreds of millions in locked liquidity, that Ethereum backing, and now moving on to other platforms with the rewards. It's one of those. It's not Metcalfe's law. I forgot which law it is, but when a project has been around for a couple years, 3 years, 4 years, there becomes an element of foundation of, okay, this wasn't just a pump and dump. It creates an actual a draw based upon its longevity. And there's a law about that, about a certain amount of time for a technology where it becomes a value in itself. And it was, I read that about Dogecoin, because people talk about the supply, the tokenomics, but even as a meme coin, how it's stood, been around for so long that there becomes a value. And you look at the tokenomics and you look at the actual protocol, the smart contract behind massive ownerless locked liquidity on a DEX, and the potential that has, what's already being built off of it. Well, that definitely has a lot of room once it gets legs to take off. So I'm excited about that for sure, and that's good news.
Oh yeah,
very good news. I'm sure there will be a couple, once it gets rocking, we'll be able to pop out a video and show how that works. So being able to move it around on Polygon or Harmony One, other networks that aren't so expensive right now, it feels good.
You guys want to trade some stakes around?
Yeah, right.
If you're a vegetarian or you're vegan, you can still trade stakes. All you have to do is join the Wise network. It's that simple.
Oh yeah. But one last thing I want to touch on about Wise really finding its legs is, I do believe that with their profit generating protocols, their liquid NFTs, the lending platform, all of the things that they're building out, and even their Launchpad platform, which is something pretty new that they're talking about, especially with like Praise Token and using Praise Token to be backed by Wise. It's very interesting, the amount of generation of profits that Wise is going to see. It's very interesting to speculate on that.
Right, where it's all going.
Yeah.
And how much it'll feed back into the ecosystem, you know?
Oh yeah. With almost all of it going back into the ecosystem, 100%. Like, it's crazy how much more efficient Wise is as a token with their tokenomics than anything else in DeFi.
Yeah, it's rewarding to see that a lot of the money goes back to the community. That's what's cool. It's going to pump up the value, and yeah, there are other protocols that are working on adding value to their communities too. So there we go. We can already see Solana, some of these in a sea of red, pop in their little green cosmos. Come over here. We've got some stuff going on too. So, all right. Well, gentlemen, do you think did we handle it?
I think we hit all the right notes. Yeah.
Until next
power
week.
Hour.
Yeah. We might have some surprise videos coming out before, but we will be sure to give you a live stream update, a week's worth of crypto news, traditional finance, and what's hot and happening, the opportunities in the DeFi crypto markets. Until the next time, have a beautiful day. Namaste. I'll let Ryan and Jacob take it out from here.
Well, thanks for joining us on our Monday evening crypto journey. Jacob, it's always been a good time hanging out with you, hearing more about your research and NFTs and Wise and everything. So we'll look forward to next time. Thanks.
Till next time, guys, I love hanging out. And just remember, a rising tide floats all ships.
Yeah.